Apparently Dunkin' has banana flavored cold brew. Banana sweet cold foam. Oh, I don't want banana in my coffee. Even in a cold brew coffee. I don't think that would be. Would it be? I don't know. This is a positive Friday. So you know what? Maybe it's delicious. Delicious. Maybe that's maybe it's good. I will not try it though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not trying that. I'm positive I'm not trying that. No, I forgot to make coffee. Oh. Luckily, my wife is home. Maybe, maybe she'll take pity on me. Perhaps. So I gotta get some writing in today. I gotta get some writing in today. Hopefully. That's the goal anyway. I've already started writing this morning, which is a good thing. I have water. But I really do want coffee. But I don't want to just leave now because there's one person lurking right now, and I don't want to be like people start coming in and going, "Where is he? He went to the bathroom already?" Because at some point I probably will have to go to the bathroom, and then I don't want that to also be part of. So much going on right now. Too much, too much. Some people might say. I don't know who those people would be. They might say it though. 4. Okay. Happy Friday to you too, Charlie. Happy Friday to you. So far, so good. Had to give a tour to a field trip this morning. How was that? Bunch of kids are asking dumb questions. I'm sure you got that one kid who thinks he's, third grader thinks he's a badass. He's going to make funny comments. The teacher's going to shush him. Stop that. Exactly. Yep. What am I working on today? King of the Mountain, my Southern Gothic noir thriller. I just broke 30,000 words in it. You're running without coffee. You're not. I know. I mean, luckily I've had a cup of coffee this morning, but this is what threw me. I'm going to tell you what threw me off today. My wife normally goes to work about 9 o'clock or so. Well, this morning she left about 9 o'clock, but she took one of the cats to get her shots. And then on her way home at like 10:45, she's like, "Hey, I'm on my way home. I'm going to drop the cat. I'm going to change the dog, and then I'm going to go to work. Do you want anything?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bring McDonald's or Taco Bell." She's like, "McDonald's is easier. Couple of McDoubles plain, large fry. I'm good." But then I ate, and then I was like, "Well, we're running into. I got to go on in like 10 minutes." And then I was like, "Let me go," and my glasses were dirty. Let me go and clean my glasses, and then I sit down and I jump right in, and I realize, wait, I didn't make my coffee. She's out back right now with the dog because it's nice out. It's 80 degrees out, partly sunny. So at some point in the next few minutes, she'll come back in and get ready to go to work. And then I will say, "Before you go to work, can you make me a cup of coffee?" In fact, let me grab a pod. I'll do another one of these Newman's Own organic special blend that I did this morning in my coffee of the day. So hopefully she will come in, and I will call her in and say, "Hey, please, can you do this? I don't know if I can survive without coffee." And technically, I am writing without coffee. I just don't know if my brain can handle it at this point. I'm really doing a bunch of other stuff. I do like me some McDonald's fries, though. They are easily my favorite of all the fries, French or otherwise. Hey, I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna ask her right now. Keith, what have you missed so far? You've missed. I had McDonald's for lunch, and I don't have currently have a cup of coffee. but my wife is still home. She hasn't gone to work yet.
Okay, yeah.
You do me a big favor.
Yes.
Can you make me a cup of coffee?
Oh.
People are listening. I told people,
Oh,
I lied to everybody and told them how great you
Your
were to me.
demands never end.
How great you were to me, and you did things for me, and now you're.
all the freaking time.
Put a little extra creamer in it than you normally do,
No.
because you don't put enough.
You want me to make it? I make it the way I make it.
I'd like some creamer in it. This is the woman that when you say, she says, "Oh, I want a soda or something or water," she fills a cup with ice, like 87 pieces of ice, and then whatever the drink is. But yet when I say, "Oh, I want a cup of coffee and I want creamer in it," she doesn't put a lot of creamer in it. Does that make any sense? You don't drink coffee, so you have had coffee. Yeah, you have. I said, yes, you've had coffee before. She knows what the taste is like. Hoo-ah. So anyway, I just started chapter 18 of this King of the Mountain book. And I broke 30,000 words on it, so that's good. This is going to be a longer one, though. This, I feel like, is going to be 75,000 to 100,000 words, something like this. I mean, it's moving, but we're stretching some of it. We're stretching some of the conflagrations. Chester, just in time to hear the slave whine about her duties. Poor Shelley. I know, right? Well, I sat down, I realized I don't have coffee, and then I was like, well, I don't want to just get up with nobody was on yet. And then you guys would all pop in and be like, oh, he went to the bathroom already. Or like new people popping in, they were like, where is he? Like, they don't understand that I disappear for long stretches. Especially I had a couple of McDoubles and some fries today, so I definitely will be happy Positive Friday to you too, Chad, by the way. I'm positive I'm going to get some work in. We also had took out a couple of steaks for dinner. So my wife is going to fancy up a couple of steaks for us, which will be nice. You know, fancy steaks. So hopefully hopefully that will happen. She took the cat to the vet this morning to get her shots, but it was too late. It was like 10:45 by the time she got out of there and called me. So no big breakfast with hotcakes for me again. Chess says, just for the novelty of it, you need a coffee cam and get a glass mug so we can see how much coffee is left. You know what? Once I get monetized and I'm making $10,000 or more a month, then I will get a coffee can.
This is way too full.
Yeah.
Because of all the extra creamer.
Yeah, I don't know what you're even doing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chad Lutsky says, stop whining.
I know Chad didn't tell me to stop whining.
No, he did.
He probably told you to stop whining because you're the big whiner.
Yeah. Chad says, it would be hilarious competing with everyone's cat cams. Yeah. That's what we need. I'm going to strap a camera on the back. Mary would just lay in her hat all day. Here's the cam. She basically hasn't moved in 3 hours. And here's Maisie ripping everything apart and getting yelled at. The whole cam would be her getting yelled at. If I got a coffee one, but it's got to be waterproof, so I can put it in the bottom of the coffee cup. And then every time I tip the coffee back to drink some, you just see a little bit. I guarantee they have that. This is very, very well. Not bad. All right, now I'm positive we can work. We get some writing in. because you need to hang a sign back in 5 minutes when you need a bathroom break. So what I used to do, this is the old Jay Wilburn move. When I was originally on Twitch, I had it set up where the main screen that you're seeing was the words I was writing. And then in the corner over here was the webcam. And so what he would do is he would have, and I still have them, he would be like, back in 5 minutes or coming soon. I'd have like 4 or 5 different signs that I would put the sign up in the corner, I think, or something like that. No, I would put it, the main one would be it, right? So there would be a sign here that would just say, be back in 5 minute bathroom break, be back in 5 minutes or whatever. But then when I switched it and I would put that in and I would put it up, then it was very small in the corner. And then I was going YouTube Live and I'm like, I'm not figuring all this out. Key says, Chad, I'm thinking about a cover with a classic typewriter and Bigfoot's arms typing away, and the page coming out of the typewriter has the title of the book, Memoirs of a Monster. You able? Ready, able, and willing? All right.
Everybody's good to go.
All right. Have fun at work.
Hold on, thank you.
Do you have to go to work?
Unfortunately, yes, that's why they pay me.
No, I mean you couldn't just work from home.
I don't have a computer today. My computer's at mom's.
Can't use my computer. I'm making millions of dollars here.
Yeah, I gotta go. I'll see you tonight.
See you tonight.
I work at 4:30, so I'm only going in for half the day.
All right, sounds good. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye everyone.
Chad says, easy fix to just get a toilet cam. That way everyone can see what's up. Nobody wants to see that. I know there's like there was some Minecraft dude that I had watched for a little bit. I don't even know if I would imagine he's still on, because I know he was making money, 100,000 followers, him playing Minecraft. But he had 3 monitors. I only have 2, but he had one in the middle and then on the other side. And he had a webcam on each. And he had a little toggle switch that he could switch or push a button to go from, so you can get this view or this view or this view of him sitting there in the corner while he was playing Minecraft. And then sometimes he would look stuff up. He'd be like, all right. And he would look stuff up. And then he would go to that, like some Wikipedia Minecraft page thing. He'd be like, how do you build, can I build a church? Let me look it up. And then he would read the instructions. Then he would jump back and he would like make these things on it. I guess he's making money on it. It just seems like too much. I don't think, do monitors even come with webcams built in anymore? I don't even think so. I just got like I got like an $18 webcam that's been here for like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years now. Still working. Chess says, let me think on it, Keith. Keith says, appreciate it. I'm not in a hurry. Okay, good. Hopefully you guys can work all that out. He says, I think I did 5 hours this morning with your older videos this morning. Witness Lorraine's first appearance. Oh, nice. It's like a comic book when they have the first appearance of Lorraine, episode 75. I appreciate all the work. I'm up to 2574. And again, the last 2 days haven't been great. I mean, over 20 hours in each, but it was the Saturday and then the Sunday. So I should get back up to, hopefully, if you guys continue to do what you're doing and I continue to do what I'm doing and my wife continues to do what I'm doing, that I should, the next 5 days, I should hit about 40 hours a day. Because again, it's 5 days back. Just as that episode is worth a lot of money now. The origin of Lady Lorraine, yes. Yeah, I'm definitely putting that one up on eBay. Tomorrow, Saturday, I would definitely not be on tomorrow, but also Amanda Ward is doing a talk about romance books for a FWA meeting, Clay County group. So I'm going to go and hang out and see her do that. Sunday, Chad, we're going to do the Peter Marsh thing. Remember, there's daylight saving thing on Sunday, so we gain or lose an hour or 6 hours or a day, or so we lose something or gain something. I don't know. I just know when I wake up and I look at my phone and I'm like, oh, I thought it was 8 o'clock and it's 9 o'clock or it's 7 o'clock. I don't know what's going on. Let's do it. That's the positive attitude, Chad, that we all need today. That's the positive attitude. Now that I know my wife's not going to be home, I can't wait to go take a nap. It always throws me when she's home, you know? So I feel like I have to, I mean, listen, I have to work. And I'm sitting here for 2 hours. That's not going to change. But it's also one of those, I would just like to just lay down on the couch with a book in hand, you know, or my Kindle Fire in hand and get some reading in. That's part of my work. He says, what did you think about that writin books open period, or however you say it? I tagged Chad on it on Facebook. It's I have the novella I already have a publisher interested in it, and the novella that I have is 20,000 words, so it's short of what they're looking for. But they seem to work with some really good people, so that might be something nice. I think they're looking for like 25,000 words or more. What do you think about it? I'm like, you know what? I could knock that out pretty quick if I wanted to. They don't open till April 1st. Chess says, you tagged me, I didn't get it. Yes, I did. I definitely on Facebook. I didn't tag you on it. I did a comment on there with your name. So look for that, I guess. I did it, I think this morning. Then I immediately jumped off of Facebook. I did get 2 emails this morning from author Colleen Hoover praising 2 of my random books and saying she wanted to work with me. So that was very exciting. I'm like, oh, my daughter will be very happy with this. She's a big Colleen Hoover fan. And I wanted to do like the Goldberg does. I wanted to be like, oh, you know, remember we met at the NINC conference. We had lunch together. Is that why you're messaging me? You remember me from there? I didn't realize you had a Gmail account. If it's in a group I'm not part of, then maybe that's what I get. No, Keith just hit me up with it. He sent it to me, and then I just put your name in the comments. Let me see if I can find it now. Boo 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 doo. Yeah, Keith just tagged me. Keith says, Ellen Datlow shared it last night, and I thought about you and Armand and realized I didn't have Chad in my friends list. I asked Armand to tag you as I wasn't sure if Chad would accept my friendship. Yeah, Chad was like, do not. Yeah, I definitely tagged you on it. It is from yesterday. But the name of the book thing is Roydon Books, whatever the name. You can just look them up on Facebook and follow them. I think it's their last post is that. Yeah, from March 4th. All right. And off of Facebook again. I sneeze. Yeah. Woo. I'm sneezing a lot. It's probably because my office is so dusty and I refuse to dust it. Like, look at all this. That's a lot of dust. I'm going to sneeze again. Cool. Thanks for the heads up. Being positive. My wife's like, you can take the Band-Aid off now. I'm like, no. That has to naturally fall off. I'll take like 7 showers with this thing on before a little bit of water seeps underneath. Plus I'm hairy. And all that hair is going to get ripped off. Ugh. No, thank you. He says, with your luck, it will fall off into a taco. I'd still eat it. Tacos are delicious no matter what you put in it. Scallops, meat, chicken, shrimp, Band-Aids, doesn't matter. If there's taco at the end, Choco Taco, doesn't matter. My wife's goal for tonight, she's like, listen, when we get home, I'm going to cook the steaks. However she's going to cook them. And then maybe in the air fryer. No, I'm just kidding. Although I think you probably can make them in the air fryer, and they'll probably be delicious. But why chance it? And then we're going to do our Saturday house cleaning. We're going to do it Friday night, which is not a lot because I did all the vacuuming. We did all the sweeping, all the stuff because we had people over last Saturday. So it won't be nearly as bad. But then, and then we're probably going to watch a couple of shows that we've taped. Maybe start a new puzzle tonight. Because then tomorrow I will be gone from about 9 o'clock to go to Amanda's speaking engagement. And then we'll probably grab lunch afterwards. And then I'll mosey back home probably for things till about noon. Probably about 2 p.m. And that whole time, my wife's like, all I'm going to do is sit on the couch in my pajamas, and I'm going to watch the new Will Trent episode and whatever else I want to watch. and not do anything on her only day off. And I'm like, you know what? Good. Good for you. And I won't even be home. So I won't even be in the other room bothering you or sitting on the couch bothering you. And that'll be good. Be good for me to get the heck out of the house, too. Chad says they're paying pro rates, too. It's not easy finding 10 cents a word for shorts. I see too many low flat rate payments lately. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of them I'm seeing on Duotrope, especially the last couple of months now, especially since it turned into 2026, where there's a lot of new ones. I mean, a ton of new ones, and they're all either, you know, no pay or half a cent. And I'm like, wow, you're not paying a lot at all. Again, everybody is different. I look at it differently than a lot of people. Like, well, if you're not paying me 10 cents, I'm not doing it. I got 200 and something short stories to get out there. I got to do that too. I was kind of waiting for the next email from Duotrope, which I think will be Monday, and then I'm gonna have to really hit it hard and try to get some of these stories out there and get them published. But yeah, I would rather obviously get paid. I'm enjoying writing this Southern Gothic noir thriller, though. I'm just going to set up some of the other chapters now. What was the girl's name again? Charlotte. Charlotte. All right, so the next 4 or 5 chapters, I basically go like chapter 20, and I just put Harold and Charlotte, so I know which what point of view or idea I'm going with. That's basically my what do you call it? I know the next 3 chapters. Who's my point of view character? That's all of my outlining. Chad says, checked out the Anto that Rock and Hard Place is doing, but their guidelines are nothing but a politically charged agenda. Listen, Christian as an example of the kind of that one I'm completely skipping over. And on a couple of those message boards, they've people, not them, but other people have caught a lot of crap. Basically, people coming in going, well, you shouldn't do this. And other people saying, mind your own business. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of back and forth of not them, but other people. But I'm like, yeah, I'm not touching that one. Whoa, it's Friday. This is what you walk into. They do have a, is it them? Oh, Punk Noir has a May sub call, like a 300 word or less one, which seems interesting. So I might at some point play around with that one, but I wanted to get more of this book written first. Frank, how's the snow up there today? Crazy? Just says, yeah, I noped out quick. I just left all that 2 years ago. Yeah. They usually have some good anthologies. Snow, yeah, we got like 6 feet of snow last night here. I don't know, I just figured it was snowing since it snowed every other day I've ever talked to you. Some clouds rolling in. Probably aliens. It's mostly washed away after the torrential downpours. Oh, torrential downpours last night. Nice. Nice. We watched my wife and I watched a thing on Investigation Discovery called Disappeared in Hawaii. I say Hawaii. You know, it'd be like Hawaii, whatever. And everybody in the show said it different. Says, in my online journey last night looking for publishers and authors, I found some stuff that's worth checking out. I'll send you an email when I have stuff compiled if you're interested. Yeah, that'd be good. On Monday, I will be going through Duotrope, and if I see anything there that seems interesting, after I see your list, we will compare lists. The 19-foot-tall snow mountains are only about 1.5 feet high now. Wow, they're probably all muddy and gross looking. Anyway, this kid disappeared in Hawaii. He was this, you know, when you watch something and you're like, well, I know exactly what's going on. So basically, he was an only child, and his hippie parents let him do anything he wanted, and he was this genius, and he was a genius, but he just never really did anything, you know, with it. So everybody thought he was dumb, and I'm like, he's dumb. But he was a great skateboarder. He was awesome as a teenager. He was according to his mom, he was one of the greatest skateboarders. He could have gone pro. He was so good. And all of his friends, and then he dressed like a hippie and tie dyes, and he had his crazy dirty hair and all this other stuff. And then he he became a vegan, and he only ate raw foods, vegetables and stuff, and on and on and on. And he traveled. Guy didn't have a job, but he traveled on his parents' dime. And then when he was like 20, he told his parents, he had started watching, he was still 20, still living at home, nothing going on in his life, except he started watching Ancient Aliens show. Then he started doing research online, and his mother's like, oh my God, he did so much research. And I'm like, yeah, anybody can Google that stuff. He was Tony Hawk, yeah. Chess says, it's super foggy here last night and this morning. Love it. 50 tree again here in the land of Michigan. Anthony Hawk, yes. This could be so many people. You don't even know. It's been here very foggy the last 2-3 mornings too, which I like. I like that. Except I hate when the old drowned boat captain with a hook comes out of the fog to kill you with glowing eyes. So anyway, he says he's figured out where the land of Lemuria is, which is where the aliens first landed and created the human race. And that happens to be on an island in Hawaii. So his parents buy him a plane ticket because he ain't got no money. And he goes out there and he stays, he's there for like the first day he's there, he goes and stays at a hostel. Not a hostile environment, a hostel. And then he disappears. It's always Hawaii, right? And so his buddies, all of his skate buddies who are now in their 20s and basically it seems like they're just sitting around smoking a lot of weed and not really adding anything to society. Frank says, okay, now this sounds like Lilo and Stitch, right? Exactly. So, and he also plays guitar. He's the greatest guitar player in the world. At one point, he didn't graduate high school because he was just too smart for high school. So at 17, he quit high school, and his parents sent him from, like he was in Ohio or something. No, he was in Maine. That's right, he was in Maine. He went to L.A. To become a famous folk singer, not horror folk, but a folk singer. And he was out there for like a year, and then he did not make it, but he could have because he was the greatest folk singer since Bob Dylan, according to his mom. So now a couple years later, he's in Hawaii because of Lemuria, because of the aliens, and then he just disappears. And then his 5 buddies go out there to Hawaii to look for him, and then they cannot find him. And that was like 2013, I think, was the last time anybody saw this person at all. Amazing skateboard, quit high school, amazing guitarist. Wait, are we talking about me? Yeah, because you know why? He also had that. He also did that dirty white boy. I'm gonna do my Rasta hair, dirty crap. I'm gonna douse it in patchouli oil and smell. I don't know if you actually smelled back then, Chad, but I've seen some pictures. He did not. Here's the weird thing, though. He did not at any point in the documentary say anything about liking the accused, but he did read a lot, and I would imagine he probably did read Joe Lansdale. So, it could have been you. Do you currently live in Hawaii? Totally off the grid. And that's the thing, like there was this valley that all the hippies lived in, and they lived off the land, blah, blah, blah. And so they went searching there, and some people thought they saw him, but that had been like a couple of years at that point. And my wife gets very upset when we watch those that they don't find the person. You know, somebody gets killed and they don't find the killer. She gets really annoyed at those. She was like, why did we watch this? If I watch these because then people get their comeuppance. Chessa, instead of just simply saying dreadlocks, Armand demonizes my old hairstyle with dirty, rotten adjectives. Yeah, it's better that way. My son went through that period as well, and I would not call them dreadlocks. I would call them, what is your smelly, dirty hair doing? Don't you wash that thing? Cut that crap off. What's up, Matthew? Welcome in. We're talking about Chad's dreadlocks. So anyway, so this guy just disappeared. So now he would be, I don't know, in his late 30s now. Probably still some hippie dude with crazy hair. If Armand's beard was on his head, right? I wash it, and then it just poofs all out, and then I have this stuff I put in it, but it doesn't really work. I can't unsee it, Frank. Yeah, exactly. So there you go. Maybe I'm just jealous. I don't know. I don't look right with facial hair, and while I like my hair long, I tend to keep it about medium. Not everybody looks good with facial hair or with long hair. I'll mess with Photoshop later. Oh, great. Make sure you add that guy with the eyes right here. And Dave the Snake Sabo, right? I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I did not watch any of the Skid Row audition videos, but I heard yesterday on satellite radio, Dangerous Darren told me that they still had not found anyone suitable as of yesterday morning. The band, exactly. So they're still going through thousands and thousands of potential singers, men, women, whatever. Chaz says, scroll up a little, Armin. I don't know what I'm missing. Oh, Chaz says, I think you should grow a full Milano beard, Armin. You'd look good in it. I had a full beard 11 years, 12 years ago. When right before the year before we got married, he wants you to grow an Alyssa Milano beard. You know what? I would let her be my beard. I was trimming my mustache, my mustachio. And at one point, and there's a picture on Facebook, me and my kids years ago where I had shaved it off. And then somebody said, oh, you look like that Dave guy from Disturbed. I was like, yeah, I don't like that. And then I was in the bathroom and I started trimming it. And I was like, let me trim it down a little bit more. And my hand slipped and like zip, like I like one side of it was just gone. And I'm like, let me shave it off. And then I'm like, I don't like this look. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep the goatee, but I'm going to cut it really, really short, like super crazy short. And then I came out and my wife was pissed. She was my girlfriend at the time, but we were engaged at that point. She was mad. She was like, what are you doing? We have engagement pictures coming up in like 3 months. So I shaved it. I got it in with the engagement pictures. It's very short. And then I started growing it in. And then there's pictures of me. I have like a full crazy beard. But it just itched me. It just itched way too much. Frank remembers that. And so I just finally was like, you know what? I'm just going to, because then this was all cut and it was all even. But then I was like, yeah, I'm going to do like the jumbo. I'm going to do mutton chops. And she's like, I will divorce you. No. But then it just got to be the point. I was like, I just don't like it. I originally started growing this in my 20s because I'm like, oh, you know what? It makes my face look not as fat. I don't know if that's true or not, but that was the reasoning. One of the reasons I did it. Like my head is shaved, and I should do this. Not everybody in 1993 had their head shaved with facial hair like that. So I did it, and then everybody did it. Except BK will tell you he's the one who started. Matthew says, my husband likes me clean shaven, which I like too. Frank says, I don't remember the full crazy beard. Chad says, I just watched an episode of Who's the Boss this week for the first time in 36 years, so now it feels very wrong to hear the Alyssa sexy talk. Frank says, my wife likes me clean shaven also. My wife likes the goatee, but she doesn't like hair on the sides of my head. I think it was like New Year's one year, Frank, that I had the full beard. I know it's on my Facebook. I'm not even going to find it. It's there. How I shaved my full beard. You know what? That's Sunday's video. Matthews, I'm hoping to finish this week strong. I managed 12,000 words yesterday, and I was ready for a break by then. They tried to spell strong again. I love when that happens. Matthew jumped in a little late, but he's the number one guy right now. Yeah, one more time. Let's see if we can spell this one easy word wrong one more time, because that's what always happens. Your fingers do not obey. Frank says, "Can I tell you how much I loved your latest video?" There you go, strong. I need to enable spell check for YouTube. Yeah. Tell me, or whoever you want to tell about a latest video. I feel like you're about to make fun of me. Chaz says he's definitely going to make fun. Frank, it's funny now because whenever you stumble, we're all in your head rent free calling you out, and that makes you stumble more, and you're laughing because you know it. 100%. As soon as I start, I'm like, I'm going in the weeds. Frank and Chad are going to say something. That's exactly what happens. So it feels like Easter eggs just for us. Yeah. Every time I get that the smile or that chuckle, it's you guys are definitely rent free in my head. 100%. 100%. I don't consciously do it. Like I'm not. All right, let me say something that can make fun of me. Like I don't want that at all. But then I overthink it and then I stumble. There's always that part in every one of those videos because obviously I'm not doing any research. I don't have a script in front of me. I'm just, hey, I'm going to talk for 15, 20 minutes. So I get to that point like 6, 7 minutes into it. I'm like, all right, it's got to be more than 8 minutes for them to be able to run ads on it in the future. I've been talking about it anymore. And then I got to look up at the corner and see what the name of the how I did what. Okay. And then let me keep going. But in the latest one, you derail early, but you eventually grab a rhythm and it's all smooth chatter. Okay, good. I'd like to think people are watching for the information, but I also know people are also watching to go, where's he even going with this? What kind of random story, side note thing is he going to tell us this week? That's why I literally look at the list and I'm like, what am I going to, we'll do that. What I really need to do is just like knock off a bunch of them. But then I worry that I also don't want to do like where I'm doing like I like the Wednesday Sunday thing. I don't want to be like, yeah, I'm going to do one every day. Like I'm already writing doing this every day. But I'm thinking, you know what? This afternoon I probably do have to do the one for Sunday because tomorrow I'll be gone half the day and then my wife will be home. and I don't like recording when she's in the house in case I say give some story or tell something. It just seems weird. And then Sunday, hanging out with Pete and the gang to write, and then it will be due at like 11 o'clock Sunday morning. So I definitely will record it today. But I have 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 22, 3, 9 things on this list to talk about. Now, some of them are like somebody's like, "Oh, tell me about your journey for Severed Press," and I'm like, I'll do a video. Once that last book is out and I physically have all of them in my possession, I'll do some of those. How I make fun of Chad Lutsky's dreadlocks without saying the word dreadlock. I should add that. That should be the 30th thing that I have. So stuff like that. How I decide on what to write. I think I did one of those, or it's on the list. How I know if something will be a short story or a novel or a series. I literally, how I write a series one. I think that was the one Frank's making fun of. If you have any other ideas I haven't touched on, how I prefer French toast over waffles. That's going to be a big one. That one's going to shake everything out, to shake it to its foundation. Pancake syrup? I mean, yeah. There are so many variations. I mean, here's my favorite right here. Hot cake syrup. Still got it. Excuse me. I'm a fan of maple syrup, but I'm going to be honest with you. Aunt Jemima syrup is you can't. I mean, you just can't beat it. That's what I grew up on. How I choose what time of day to write. Boom. I'm going to write that one down, Chad. How I prep for there is no prep. There's literally no prep. So that would not be a good video. How I prep is I drink a cup of coffee, I make another cup of coffee, I go to the bathroom. I know I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom several more times. Preparation is done. Matthew says, coming up with an idea for a book takes about 2 weeks, then I write for about 4 months. How to spot a bad publisher. Yeah, I do have a music one on there already. I'm going to do a music one. Why I have a lot of music titles in my stories, and how what I listen to when writing them with music. I'm in looping Wicked and Wicked for Good soundtracks while I write. I do not. How I managed to not like Kiss until they started putting bad records out, then writing to those. I'll tell you, my first Kiss was double platinum. The 8 tracks of that. I had no idea what they looked like or who they were. I enjoyed those songs. But when Creatures of the Night came out, it was a life-changing event for me. 1982, I'm listening to Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and Kiss. Kiss made a big comeback. That's the only Iron Maiden album I liked was Somewhere in Time. That's a very good album. Very good album. Has a lot of catchy stuff on it. I didn't go much further than Somewhere in Time like that. I loved an entire album. There are songs. There's specific songs after that period of the band, but not full albums where like the first 5 albums, I could just put any of those albums on. I could just listen to them straight through, not a problem. Chad says that's my least favorite up to that point. Saw them on that tour though, and it was a great show. Lots of inflatables. Frank says wasted years. If I really get into a need for music, I'll throw on Battle Beast, Circus of Doom on repeat. Still never heard Battle Beast. They have been mentioned here. I liked Somewhere in Time. I thought it was a good album. I thought it had some. I thought it was way more commercial, but I thought I thought they had some really good um, backing vocals on a bunch of those songs. Great songs live too. I also saw them on that tour with Wasted opening for them. Then after that show at the Brendan Byrne Arena, we went to Lemoore because Wasted played that night, and I remember thinking, why did we come here? I did not even like them in a 45-minute set opening for Iron Maiden, and now it's 2 in the morning, and now we got to listen to like an hour and a half of these guys. Power metal. Charlie says, my kid recently discovered Iron Maiden and has been blasting Run to the Hills and the Trooper for the last couple of months. Nice. Yeah, Wasted. Pete Way, his band, instead of joining Fastway. I don't remember any songs from them. I want to say they did like a couple of UFO songs, was like their encore when they played Lemoore. That was the Brendan Byrne Arena when somebody threw a firecracker on stage. like a big one, and exploded. And Bruce Dickinson was pissed. He's like, one more firework goes off in this building, one more anything, and the show stops. That's it. Turn the lights on. And they turned the lights on. And he ranted for another 5 minutes, and then they jumped into the next song. And nobody threw another firecracker. Like, that's a dumb move. Frank said, when I first heard Run to the Hills, I kept telling everyone I like that new song, Over the Hill. Yeah. There's some guy on TikTok or wherever that he does the 4 different Iron Maiden gallops. And he does them on his bass. And it's pretty funny because it's accurate. It's literally, he's like, here's all the Iron Maiden, here's all their gallops, and it's in multiple songs. I can point out a couple songs on each, but basically it's like they're all on horseback playing these songs. Frank says, oh yeah, firecrackers at shows is the thing for a minute. Yeah. Which I thought was ridiculous and stupid. Stupid. When I saw Maiden, it was Aunt Vinny opening. That was the I'm gonna say the '87 tour, because I've told that story about meeting the Vinnie Vincent band. They were opening for Iron Maiden in Long Beach Arena in California when we were out there, and I was like 17. Yeah, March '87. Yeah, and they were out there. It was when they played. That was somewhere on tour. They were in Jacksonville on then. So let's see. Where would you have seen that show? Yeah, so Long Beach, February 16, 17, 18. They played 3 shows. I just got out of rehab, and it was recommended I not go because it was considered a dangerous space. So my dad went with me. Did you go to Battle Creek or Saginaw or Detroit or Richfield? As I plan about 20K more words to write, give it or take, and I'm in the mood to get them done. I'm glad I stopped by because you are always an inspiration and pick me up to a blood day. Well, I appreciate you saying that, and hopefully it's a positive Friday. Hopefully positive things happen. Chaz says, I think they all thought I was just going to fire up a joint and drink a bottle once the music started. Battle Creek. March 15th. The Ides of March. Yeah, and then we were in California. When did I say that was? February. And then on March 28th, they played the Brendan Byrne Arena in East Rutherford with Wasted opening. And that's when I saw them. So that same tour. On May 1st of that year, they played the Spartan Stadium in San Jose. Y&T, Tesla, and Wasted all opened for them. And their January 24th in Beaumont Civic Center was canceled due to poor ticket sales. Yes, it was Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Of the beginning of the tour, the January dates where Yngwie Malmsteen's Rising Force opened for them, and they're on that tour when they started in Yugoslavia. Wasted open, then Paul Samson's Empire, and then in November, Finland, Sweden, Germany, France, Spain, Wasp opened for them. Battle Creek. Wasted. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember any Wasted song. I still don't even know why we spent the time and money to go up there to see them. That's usually a band like, oh, Wasted is opening. Okay, then we're just gonna sit in the parking lot and we're gonna hang out and we're gonna make pretend that any of these skimpily dressed women are interested in us. Let's just hang out here in the parking lot with the Staten Island stud. Chad says, would have much rather seen the We Are Sexual Perverts show with Maiden out of all the openers. Frank said, oh, I would have rather seen, I would have rather have seen Wasp or Yngwie. I would have even liked to have seen Yngwie opening. Because I think that was the height of the Yngwie thing, right? He had a couple, three catchy tunes at that point. I'm sure it was a 45-minute set. 37 minutes of it was him jerking off onto the guitar, making a lot of different sounds. And then, of course, Vinnie Vincent, probably the same thing. I'll tell you who I saw opening for almost every band was Tesla. Man, they opened for everybody. The weird part is I remember Iron Maiden, after the Battle Creek show, they're like, hey, Chad Lutsky was in the audience, but you know what? Armand Rosamilia is going to be in the audience in New Jersey pretty soon, so they were happy. They were very happy. I got a new book coming out next Tuesday, Permafrost, the sequel to my Dying Day Zombie series. Check it out if you can. If you've read that series, although there's no zombies in it. Basically, it says it right in the description, no zombies. And I guarantee you somebody's going to read and go, there was no zombies in this. Then they're going to throw punch somebody. I mean, or maybe not. I don't know. Just as I get this in a lot of my reviews, this wasn't really horror. Well, I never said it was. Exactly. They wanted it to be. They want it to be what it's not. People are crazy. People are people. So why should it be? I mean, like what this is, it's a post-apocalyptic kind of coming of age survival thing, but it's not horror. But people are going to go, "Oh, Dying Days was horror, so this is zombies. It's got to be a rising force." You caught that lyric reference, Robert? Chaz Choot, two Z's because you're nasty. That was a good one, right? That was very subtle. I just kind of slipped it in there. What's the reason for the apocalypse, though? You'd have to read the 9 books. And it's in the Dying Days 9, there's a reason that there's the apocalypse. Oh, I guess you don't technically have to read it, but it would make more sense. You could read the book on its own, but I would rather you read the other ones. So Tesla opened for Poison in '88. Was that also at the Meadowlands? Because I think I saw them opening for Poison. I saw them opening for Bon Jovi. I think I saw them opening up for Motley Crue. In the early days of their career, Tesla toured with David Lee Roth, Alice Cooper, Def Leppard, and Poison, which results in the band being categorized as a glam metal band. The band members resented this labeling. The band, according to Troy, now does not mind being labeled as part of that scene. Can't have it both ways, Troy. And they got a lot of former members. I had no idea. Let's see who they. Chad, Armand trying to upsell 9 books. I like it. Exactly. And you know what? A lot of people read that series. So why can't you get to So this goes back to 1980, 81, Great White in Tesla. They played a ton of club dates in 82. Who do they play? It doesn't tell you who they played with, though. December 21st, 1984, Tesla played Forest Hill Elementary School. They played the Oasis in Sacramento about 1 billion times. All right, here we go. 1986, finally. They opened for David Lee Roth. They played a lot of club dates from them. Whatever the reason, I'm sure it's food-based. Yeah. Bullet Boys, Tesla, and David Lee Roth. Played a lot of dates with David Lee Roth. They opened for 87. They opened for Alice Cooper. Also in 87, they opened for Night Ranger. They played the Texas Jam Music Festival in 87. Boston, Aerosmith, Whitesnake, Poison, Tesla, Fahrenheit. And then some more dates with Tesla. They played that one show with Iron Maiden and Y&T. They were out of donuts. That is, you know what? That is a good reason. Troy, who isn't their drummer no more. It seems like 400 people were in that band. 87 Def Leppard. I think I saw that tour. I'm almost positive. Did they play? Where did they play? Def Leppard with Tesla. The Hysteria tour. Yep. Def Leppard and Tesla, October 17, 1987, at Brendan Byrne Arena. They're still playing with Def Leppard. Big tour with Def Leppard all over the world. All the way to the end of the year. Into February of 88. Still on that Def Leppard tour. Into June 88. Still on that tour. They did sprinkle in some club dates. 89, Poison and Tesla. Poison Tesla, February 14th, 1989. East Rutherford, New Jersey, Brendan Byrne Arena. That's probably when you saw them, Frank, and that's also when I saw them. They did play a couple days with Poison, Warrant, and Tesla together. All the way into 89. They're still playing with Poison. At this point, I'm just going to keep doing this. Oh. Iowa State Fairgrounds, May 29, 1989. Poison, Tesla, Winger, and Bullet Boys. The day before, Poison, White Lion, Tesla, Winger, Bullet Boys. There's your show. I saw White Lion at Lemoore and Lemoore East. 89, they played with Great White, Kicks, and Tesla. Great White is apparently the headliner on that. I did not see that. In 89, they also played Great White, Tesla, and Alice in Chains opened for both of those bands. '89, Tesla, Great White, and Badlands was now on that bill. Kicks came back for a couple shows. It looks like Alice in Chains was only on for like one or two shows. Badlands was on for a while, though. Nick says, not Tesla, but I do have an old man rant. The imaginary girlfriend went to buy Gorillaz tickets in Chicago in October. Over $180 a ticket for cheap seats. Why, oh, why so much for a concert? There are no Bullet Boys. Well, yeah, but who is? And that Bullet Boys tickets would be much more because he owes all that child support to a lot of different kids. I thought the Gorillaz wasn't even a real band. They played the World Series of Rock. Poison, Winger, Tesla, White Lion, Warrant, and the Bullet Boys. It's like everybody that toured with those guys, they're just all going to play on that one bill. You know, lots and lots of and at that point they were still playing like crappy clubs. All right, here we go. Motley Crue. Honey Nuts for Gorillas. Do they even play? Are they even real people? July 4th, 1990. Motley Crue, Tesla, and Johnny Crash. Johnny Crash. They also have some Motley Crue, Tesla, Bonham, and Joe Satriani and Johnny Crash. 1990. Those were some of those dates. I actually saw that show at the Mausoleum. All right, for a virtual bit. So how are they even it makes no sense. Tesla was the opening band for the Scorpions and Trickster in Canada. Tesla headlined a few shows with Firehouse opening for them. They did a couple of one-offs with David Lee Roth that year, 1990. Chess says, I bought tickets to The Cure a few years ago, and they were only $40, and that's for The Cure. Apparently, Robert Smith had it out with Ticketmaster and demanded low prices. Frank says, that was my first live show ever. Also, so Tesla is the first band I ever saw live. Nick says, that's fair for The Cure. Yeah, they played a lot with the Scorpions overseas in 91. 92, they headlined some pavilions and theaters with Firehouse opening for them. They played the Tokyo Dome on New Year's 91 with Thunder, who I like, Europe, who has that one song, Metallica, I've heard of them, and Tesla. Before that, they headlined with Kiss of the Gypsy in the UK. No idea who that is. Maybe if they took cat coin, that's pennies for The Cure. Ooh, excuse me. Those McDoubles are coming back, repeating on me like a howitzer. I don't even know why I'm still doing this, but I just can't help it now. 92, the Firehouse opening for them. They played the Meadowlands in 92. I did not see. I did not. I've never seen Tesla headline a show. Not even like at a little club show or anything. All right, I'm done. I'm done with them. Don't remember Johnny Crash. I remember the name. I'm sure maybe I've heard one of their songs and I was like, well, yeah, they're awful. Johnny Crash. Let's look up Johnny Crash. See if it was like anybody. First, I thought it said Johnny Cash. I'm like, what? No, it's Johnny. Not to be confused with Johnny Cash, it says. It's an American hard rock band formed in 1985. Members originally included former Tokyo Blade singer Vic Wright, former Champagne guitarist Christopher Stewart and August Warchell, bassist Andy Rogers, and former Rock City Angels drummer Stephen Punky Adamo. I knew that guy. Their sound was likened to that of AC/DC and contemporaries Junkyard, Rhino Bucket, and the Four Horsemen. Cue Professor Chad talking about the Accused and Junkyard having a connection in 3, 2, 1, go. Chad says Johnny Crash sounds like a rockabilly. Yeah, it does. Trickster is bigger than Tesla to open for them. Also, Tesla told Trickster many times. So their first album was released in 1990. Here's also part of your problem. You're a hard rock heavy metal band coming out in 1990. They toured for a short time with bands such as Motley Crue and Pretty Maids. The single Hey Kid became a minor hit, and its video received some rotation on MTV. No, it's Minor Threat Junkyard Connection. I knew it was something. Europe got like 3 songs, maybe 4. I'll give you 3. Guitarist J.J. Bolt and then future Guns N' Roses members Dizzy Reed and Matt Sorum joined the band to replace Wurchill and Adamo. However, before the second album could be released, Johnny Crash were dropped by their label, and Stewart suggested moving to Europe. James Wright disagreed, and the band split up. And then in '92, the bass player died of a heroin overdose. In 2007, they stated that the unreleased album that they had recorded, now titled Unfinished Business, will come out sometime in 2008 they released it. Yeah, so Dizzy Reed and Matt Sorum were in their band in 91, 92. So after all the Guns N' Roses thing had imploded. Frank says you didn't go for the McArch. No, I am. My wife knows when she goes to every place she goes to, she knows exactly what my order is, and it does not change from that unless they say, you know what, I'm interested in a fish sandwich this time. Otherwise, oh, you're going to McDonald's? I want a couple 3 McDoubles, and I want French fries. You're going to Burger King, which we don't normally go to. I want 2 double cheeseburgers and onion rings. Just however, the guy who played in Minor Threat, then on to Junkyard, also played for Bad Religion, whose other guitarist counts The Accused as top hardcore band, according to video Nick Zinsall. See, so I knew that it's always a tie. Frank, like when they mentioned the former bands that nobody knows. Yeah. You don't remember Tokyo Blade? I believe they were on Blade Runner. Blade Runner? No. What was that one? Brian Slagle. Metal Blade Records. The 6 Degrees of the Accused. You can put pretty much any band. You wonder if Matt Sorum still talks about his time in Johnny Crash. I mean, I was in Guns N' Roses. I did that Velvet Revolver thing. But, I mean, probably my favorite time to be alive was that year I was in Johnny Crash. And we recorded that album that nobody played on. I remember in the 80s, so many metalheads wanted Japanese and British flags on their headbands, shirts. Oh, yeah, that was very, very big. Tons of bandanas with the rising sun. Crazy. Here's a mailman. Literally looks like one piece of junk mail. Thank you. Just, I used to wear the folded bandanas around my thigh. Well, you had to. like 83 to 85. I was so skinny in junior high and into high school that I used to wear a bandana as a belt. And the bandana would tie around my waist and I would actually be able to tie the front of it. That's how skinny I used to be. That was about, I don't know, 200 pounds ago. And then when I graduated and I worked for Public Works, I used to do the Axl Rose, the big bandana with my mullet pulled back. Man, was I cool looking back then. I don't really think I was. I'm not really sure what I was thinking. As usual, I want to apologize to everybody who comes in thinking, "Oh, this guy is going to be writing because the name of this is something about writing." I just got to apologize. I'm sorry. Sorry, there's not a lot of writing going on. Although I did get some writing, and I got about over 1,000 words already, so I'm happy with that. But I also just like to talk about random stuff with my random stuff people. How dare loudness culturally appropriate the Japanese? Exactly, right? Remember, a lot of people were really into, in my school, were into loudness and EZO. How I fall down random rabbit holes. That's, yeah, pretty much. But you know what? I feel like that whole video would be a fall down. Good times. You know, I'm gonna get somewhere because I'm almost to the next page. Although this will be my third next page. Next page, Nick Zin. Next page, Nick Zin. Next page, Nick Zin. Nick, I watched Expedition X, and Heather did scream. I also noticed now on Phil Torres on his social media, he was sharing all the pictures of him dressed as a knight. And Chobot comes in and comments on how cool he looks on all of them. But then he does not comment back or like any of her comments. But then he liked other comments. I'm like, oh, is there a lover spat there or something? Is she trying to be cheeky about it? Isn't that what they say? Cheeky? Yes, windmills. Yes. And you know, Phil explained to you what the windmill, why they call it a windmill, because it mills things. I like in the beginning of every episode, Phil is a total non-believer. There's no way I can tell you what happens and everything. And then as soon as Heather sits down on the floor with her spinning crystals or her speak thing, then he's in. That's what Jonathan Jans does to me. He will go out of his way not to hit like on my comments. And I think it's because of something I said in a review I did for Cemetery Dance for one of his books. Chobot, Michigan's own. Is that where she's from? Michigan? I know she's in like the Netherlands now. Her and her husband live in the Netherlands. The great part is Chobot isn't even her married name. She was married to a guy whose last name was Chobot. And then she, when she got divorced because she was making a name for herself, Jessica Chobot, born Jessica Lynn Horn, July 7th, 1977. She was born in Buffalo, New York, and grew up in Novi, Michigan. What the hell is Novi, Michigan? Novi. I wonder if she knows Chad. Chad says, we all know each other in the tiny state of Michigan. Frank wants to know any good docs? Nothing, really. Frank is trying to trigger another rabbit hole. Yeah, I've already done the where we've looked up to see if anything, and there was like nothing. Her family moved from town to town frequently during her youth. Before entering high school, she lived in several places on the East Coast and the Midwest. Wow, so they have listed as their spouses. Mr. Chobot, divorced 2006. They don't even give the guy's first name. Chobot gained widespread attention in 2005 when Kotaku published a viral photo of her licking a Sony PSP handheld console. Apparently, she got started with IGN.com doing video game stuff. And she was also on G4. Is G4 still even around? I don't think G4, I haven't heard that in a long time. She co-hosted a G4 series. Then she became the host in 2013 of Nerdist News, a pop culture news series. 2014, she launched Bizarre States, a podcast focused on her paranormal conspiracy theories, true crime, and fringe phenomena. She appeared in Mass Effect 3 as the voice and likeness of Diana Allers, a non-player character. She later served as the writer for Daylight, a survival horror video game developed by Zombie Studios. That was released in 2014. She co-hosted a bunch of award shows for nerds. She's in some bad movie called doesn't even say. 2012, she joined the Travel Channel as co-host of Sand Wars, a two-part reality special where teams of sand sculptures competed against each other to build sand art. In 2015, she joined the sixth season of BattleBots as a sideline reporter. She joined the Discovery Channel series Expedition X as a co-host when it premiered in 2020. Chobot appeared in seasons 1 through 7, but did not return for season 8. In 2022, she independently revived the Bizarre States brand as Bizarre States Resurrected. 25 episodes she did on that. 2025, she launched a podcast titled A Culture Shock on Patreon. She was previously married and divorced in 2006, but retained the surname Chobot. In 2011, she became engaged to fellow media personality Blair Herter. The company married on February 18, 2012, and had their first child on March 6, 2013. In 2022, the family relocated to the Netherlands following Herter's departure from G4 and subsequent position with the esports organization Team Liquid. Chess, I don't even know who you guys are talking about. I had to Google her. She looks a bit like Linda Carter. Yeah, she does. Frank says Chad is the only guy ever to piss off mild-mannered Chans. But that guy's got a mean streak. I don't know. So G4, also known as G4 TV, has been gone since 2022. Officially closed it down. I don't remember really watching much of that. Be honest with you. Yeah, we're talking about Chobot. Next Tuesday, depending on what time it actually drops. Oh, shit. My new baseball game drops. My new Out of the Park drops. But I just realized I have lunch on Tuesday. Tuesday I will not be on. I have lunch with Chris, the filmmaker slash horror author. He's like, let's go to this place. It's this great place. I'm like, all right. You know, we go back and forth picking places. And he picked a place, and I'm like, all right. And I look it up, and I'm like, oh, it's a vegan place. It's literally vegan food. Chaz, the thing is, I gave him a really good review praising the book more than I should have. Shelley also gave him a bad review. Not a bad review, just a review. She liked the book when she was doing the Lunch Ladies podcast, but it was like the Siren and the Whale or whatever the title was, and she's like, none of those things were actually in the book or something, like whatever happened. I don't know. I didn't read it. And then he was like, I'll explain the whole thing. I'll explain the whole thing to you. But then he never did. And he ignored her. Frank, how I wrote Chobot's officially unauthorized biography. I just read the whole thing to you. Fascinating stuff. Ah, Chobot, we hardly knew you. She did that Hunting Bigfoot 3-part series thing on Travel Channel, but I think she was supposed to get a whole series and then never saw that again. Now she's in the Netherlands. Chester, but then I said there were times I felt he didn't trust the reader enough and chose to spoon feed what we are supposed to feel. Yeah, there you go. And you heard his fragile ego. No writer wants to hear that. And Jans has a tendency to give the characters every thought instead of action. The show don't tell rule being kicked to the curb. It felt like putting sugar atop a perfectly sweetened cereal. First off, I'm going to argue with you on that. It doesn't matter. There's nothing perfectly sweetened cereal. You know why? Because they always use more sugar. So I don't trust your analogy there at all. But I understand what you're saying. We'll leave it at that. Chez's counterpoint. If it's perfectly sweetened, you don't need sugar. There's no such thing as perfectly sweetened. It's either, hey, this has enough sugar, or now this really has enough sugar. Frank says, I don't know why, but Chobot in my head sounds like a cheese cracker brand. Like, try all new Chobots. Have you gotten the pizza flavored Chobots yet? They are delicious. I had a little hunk of Swiss cheese onto the Chobots. They're so good. Chobots and cheese, perfect together. I think it's funny that she got divorced in 2006. It's been 20 years. She's been divorced for 20 years, and she's been married to some other guy, and she's still using that name. I think that's great. I think that's just wonderful. All right, I've gotten 1,200 words in, which is not bad. Is it great? No, it's not great. But is it bad? No. I was excited. I broke 30,000 words today on this book, but now I broke 30,600 words on it. Chad says, when I see the word Chobot, I think of the awesome band Crowbot. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Maybe Nick can help me on this one. Since Heather got to Expedition X, Phil a lot of times is, Heather, come in, Heather, you got to see this. But I don't remember him going Chobot or Jessica, Jess. Did he call her Jess? I don't even remember. I don't remember him calling her by name. First, I've only read Children of the Dark. I don't think I've ever read a Jan's book. And it's not because I don't like the guy or anything. I just don't think it was. Or maybe I have. I don't know. I don't remember things. Are you referring to Children of Kiss? I did not listen to them either, because you told me not to. Neil and his wife, Sandra, they come and go 40 times a day. Like, they take turns. Like, literally, they were both gone. He pulled up like 5 minutes ago, and they always have to back up into the garage, like old people. He backs up into the garage, goes inside. Then she comes out and leaves. She just came back in her car, because they have two cars. And now he is getting into her car right now. Like, you've been home for 5 minutes, and now you're leaving again, but now you're taking the other car. What are these people doing? I told you my buddy, you know what? And they're damn good at it, too. They're killing a lot of people. Or they've cut up somebody like in 1,000 pieces, and they're like, all right, if we drive 20 times a day, we can get rid of 20 different pieces a day doing this. It's weird. Nice run, Frank says. Yeah, nice. I'm definitely going to take a nap, though. I would like to get to the next page. I probably get about 5 or 6 lines. So let me hit that before I hit the 2-hour mark. And we can still talk. All right. Next page, Nick's in. Next page. I'm happy with that. Just out of curiosity, what's your average word count on your average writing session? It varies widely. My goal is always 1,096 words a day. Most days, if I'm actually sitting down writing, I'm going to hit it. But I used to do a thing called the Mondo method, where at the top of every hour for the first 15 minutes, I would write. I think I did a video on it, and I would average about 600 words every time I did that. So couple of those 15-minute, and I already had my days writing in. Thanks for the question, Frank. You look out the window in the exact same way my wife's grandmother used to look out the window, with the blinds just so. That's what I have. That's what I do. And you know why? My grandmother, my Mima, would do that, and my dad would make fun of her all the time. And then when my dad retired at 50, then he spent the next 23 years doing the same exact move, and now I do the same exact move. And I would imagine my son, when he's turning 30 this month, I would imagine at some point he will start doing it soon. Chad, with the blinds just so. Yep. You don't want people to be able to see you. For instance, the window is like your television. What's going on outside is your days of our lives. Yeah. I'm like, oh, there's a jogger. There's the girl with the dog today. She was walking. She was wearing little white shorts, tight little white shorts. But she's a little too young and a little too skinny for me, but and just a little half shirt. And I believe her belly button is pierced. But again, it's 82 degrees out right now, so that works. Chad says, Armin's mother used to look out the window. Armin wouldn't even have windows in his house. Yes. Yeah, my mother didn't, but my dad would always just be staring out the window. It's one of those things when me and my wife first moved in together, or I moved into her house, I guess. I would be sitting here staring out the window, whether my office was in the back room or up front, and then she would come in and start talking to me, and I'm like, what? She's like, oh, I didn't think you were doing anything. I'm like, I'm thinking. I'm like, just staring into space. I'm staring at the tree across the street, wobbling back and forth in the wind, and trying to come up with something witty to say so people will buy these stupid books. All right, we've hit the 2-hour mark, people. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button. I will not be on, definitely won't be on Saturday. More than likely won't be on Sunday, but we will be back here on Monday. And it'll be a time change on Sunday thing. An hour some way or something or other. So that's the way we do it, right? So thank you for hitting the subscribe button. Thank you for everybody who is watching these videos after the fact. I appreciate it. Please leave a comment to help with the algorithm. And also watch, 10 hours of my videos today. Put them on in the background on mute. I don't care. I need the hours. We are at, I'm at 2,574 out of the 4,000 hours I need to monetize. So help me out. Help me out. Chesa, see you Sunday. Have a good weekend, everyone. Yeah, I will see you Sunday. And everybody have a great, great weekend.